Personally, here's where I think they didn't do a very good job, and that was with Kelsey Mitchell, who's an unrestricted free agent, because Kelsey Mitchell had a hell of a season this season, and I don't think she got the credit that she deserved.
In her appearance on No Chill with Gilbert Arenas, Sheryl Swoopes didn't hold back, doubling down on her criticism of the Indiana Fever. She argued that Kelsey Mitchell's exceptional performance in the 2024 WNBA season has been largely overlooked by the team.
What's up, everybody? Kelsey Mitchell here, and I'm a Fever girl again. So to my fans, to the basketball world, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be back. Indy's been good to me, and hopefully I could pour in and give the same. So here's to being a Fever girl.
Despite her undeniable contributions, but with the Fever's resurgence, fueled by Caitlin Clark's undeniable impact, fans and analysts alike are left wondering, is Swoopes' perspective a harsh truth? Or is it just another layer of a narrative that's rapidly unraveling?
People in the Fever were like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't want to be here. This is where I want to be.
With the Fever's success shining brighter, it's tough to ignore the evolution of this story, and whether it's truly a tale of underappreciated talent, or just an old-school perspective struggling to adapt to the new wave of WNBA stars. Sheryl Swoopes didn't hold back during her No Chill with Gilbert Arenas appearance, saying, "Personally, here's where I think the Fever didn't do a very good job, and that was with Kelsey Mitchell, who's an unrestricted free agent. Because Kelsey Mitchell had a hell of a season this season, and I don't think that she got the credit that she deserved." While these comments certainly shine a light on Mitchell's standout season, they've ignited a firestorm of reactions. Many are questioning if Swoopes is overlooking the bigger picture, the Fever's evolving team dynamic, especially with Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise. Does Mitchell's performance truly deserve more recognition? Or is Swoopes simply adding fuel to the fire in an attempt to stir the pot? With the Fever on the upswing, it's hard to ignore the possibility that Swoopes may be out of sync with how the team is shifting into a new era of play.
What kind of things do you feel?
I'm not in the locker room.
Okay,
I'm talking about more social media.
Okay, it's a turn. Right? It's a turn, right? It's really a turn of the tides.
Well, Gil, here's my point. The beginning of the year, right? Everybody saw it.
Swoopes' comments didn't just spark debate about Mitchell's recognition. They reignited speculation about potential locker room tension, with many wondering if Mitchell's future in Indiana was at risk. But those rumors quickly crumbled when Mitchell officially re-signed with the Fever, agreeing to a one-year $249,244 deal. This was a clear signal that the franchise had no intention of parting ways with her. Fever president Kelly Krauskopf wasted no time quelling the speculation, emphasizing that retaining Mitchell was always a top priority. With Mitchell firmly back in the fold, the question now is Swoopes' critique just another layer of drama, or is there some truth beneath the surface?
3 WNBA MVPs in your career, would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
Yeah, I can't. Bro, Sheryl Swoopes is willing to lie about her own career before she even admits that Caitlin is dominant.
Her comments about Caitlin Clark are raising even more eyebrows. After her controversial remarks about the Indiana Fever's star, she's made another mistake that has everyone talking. But is this just a case of an old-school legend trying to keep it real? Or is there something more going on here? As the Fever's future continues to unfold, it seems Swoopes' narrative might be more about stirring the pot than reflecting the reality in Indiana's locker room. Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark have quickly become the dynamic duo powering the Indiana Fever's rise, and Mitchell's commitment to the team only solidifies their bond. Mitchell, who has dedicated her entire 7-year WNBA career to Indiana, made it clear that her decision to stay was never in question. "Indiana has been my second home since I went pro, so this is the only city I know," she shared. Caitlin Clark, who just ran the basketball world. "I think together we hope to make you guys proud." With Mitchell's unwavering loyalty and Clark's electrifying presence, it's clear their partnership is just getting started and will continue to shake things up in the league. While Swoopes may have tried to stir the pot, the reality in Indiana paints a very different picture, one of unity and an exciting future ahead.
And obviously, as we get into free agency, the number one priority for us is re-signing Kelsey Mitchell. I think that backcourt was about as lethal as we've seen in the WNBA, and I'm talking maybe in history in the second half of the season last year.
The Fever are embracing this new chapter, and it's clear that this duo is the key to their success.
Now, we wouldn't be where we are today without Kelsey Mitchell. I mean, she's clearly a very foundational piece. She's got 7 years of being in and out of this building. She went through a lot.
Sheryl Swoopes gave Caitlin Clark the well-deserved recognition she's earned, but her praise seemed to come at the expense of Sabrina Ionescu. One of the most talked about moments recently was Clark's decision to decline an invitation to the 2025 NBA All-Star Games three-point contest. Instead, Clark chose to make her debut in the 2025 WNBA All-Star Games three-point contest, which will take place on the Fever's home court. While Swoopes lauded Clark for the bold decision and her rising influence in the game, her comments inadvertently seemed to cast a shadow on Sabrina Ionescu, who has firmly established herself as one of the league's top sharpshooters. Was Swoopes' praise just a sincere compliment to Clark, or was there something more lurking beneath the surface? It's hard to ignore the possibility that her words, while flattering to Clark, might also be a subtle nudge toward Ionescu, adding another layer of intrigue to the ongoing debate about the league's brightest shooting stars.
The fact that that's the very first WNBA player to ever win Time Magazine Athlete of the Year is pretty special. And my question is, like the criteria, is it based off of her performance on the court, which, yeah, she had a great year, or is it more about the impact that she had on the game this season?
Caitlin Clark was originally set to team up with New York Liberty star Sabrina Ionescu for the 2025 NBA All-Star Game three-point contest, going head-to-head with NBA legends like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. However, that highly anticipated matchup is no longer happening. The 23-year-old Fever star made a bold decision to decline the invitation to the NBA contest, choosing instead to make her debut in the 2025 WNBA All-Star Games three-point contest, right on her home court. This move has sparked significant praise in the sports media, with many applauding Clark for prioritizing her roots and making a statement about her growing influence in the game. It's clear that Clark's decision is not only a powerful moment for her, but also a strong statement about the future of women's basketball.
I think Caitlin Clark deserved that award. What Caitlin Clark did, because so many eyeballs were on her, was she is a huge multiplier effect of that.
While WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes hasn't always been the first to give Caitlin Clark the recognition she deserves, she made sure to acknowledge Clark's bold decision during a January 31st episode of Gil's Arena. This moment of praise for the rising star was a rare instance of Swoopes giving credit where it's due. However, the timing of her compliment has sparked some speculation. Could it have been a subtle swipe at Sabrina Ionescu? With Clark's decision to decline the NBA All-Star three-point contest invitation and instead make her debut in the WNBA's version, Swoopes' praise seems to highlight Clark's bold choices and rising influence. But some are wondering if there's an underlying message aimed at Ionescu, especially considering her own sharpshooting prowess. "I respect that," Sheryl Swoopes said of Caitlin Clark's decision, as shared in an X post from Gilbert Arenas. But Swoopes didn't stop there. She went on to add, "Because Sabrina did the opposite, right? Sabrina shot in last year's NBA All-Star game with Steph Curry, but refused to participate in the WNBA three-point shooting contest." While praising Clark for making her mark in the WNBA three-point contest, Swoopes' comparison to Sabrina Ionescu's decision to skip the WNBA contest after participating in the NBA's All-Star competition has some wondering if it was more than just an observation. Was it simply a critique of the different choices, or is there a deeper message about loyalty to the league and its growing platform? Swoopes' comments, while applauding Clark, seem to add an extra layer to the ongoing conversation about the future of women's basketball and the way its stars are positioning themselves in the spotlight. Swoopes' comments seem to subtly draw a contrast between Caitlin Clark's decision to embrace the WNBA three-point contest and Sabrina Ionescu's choice to skip it last year, creating a bit of tension between the two players' approaches. While it's clear that Swoopes respects Clark's decision, her words also seem to be a quiet call-out to Ionescu's reluctance to fully commit to the WNBA stage, especially after her high-profile appearance in the NBA's All-Star Game. It's a layered critique, highlighting the differing ways the two players are navigating their careers and their relationships with the league. This nuanced commentary could stir up further conversations about where each player stands in the evolution of women's basketball. Swoopes' comments seem to subtly draw a contrast between Caitlin Clark's decision to embrace the WNBA three-point contest and Sabrina Ionescu's choice to skip it last year, creating a bit of tension between the two players' approaches. While it's clear that Swoopes respects Clark's decision, her words also seem to be a quiet call-out to Ionescu's reluctance to fully commit to the WNBA stage, especially after her high-profile appearance in the NBA's All-Star Game. It's a layered critique, highlighting the differing ways the two players are navigating their careers and their relationships with the league. This nuanced commentary could stir up further conversations about where each player stands in the evolution of women's basketball. It's important to note, however, that Sabrina Ionescu has already made a significant impact on the WNBA All-Star three-point shooting competition. Not only has she competed in it before, but she also set a record for the most points, 37, in a single round of any three-point competition, NBA or WNBA, during the 2023 contest. That moment became one of the most viral highlights of the entire 2023 WNBA season, cementing Ionescu's reputation as one of the league's top shooters. While Swoopes may be drawing attention to the difference in decisions between Clark and Ionescu, it's clear that Ionescu has already played a pivotal role in elevating